A word of advice from safeelectricity.org. Be safe when working outside around electric lines, especially those connected to your home. Keep an eye out for power lines when moving ladders, pruning poles, or other long tools. Be alert when installing or adjusting antennas and while working on your roof. Let professionals trim trees that are close to power lines. Be a safe weekend warrior. For more safety information, visit safeelectricity.org.
Hello and welcome to NewsView. This is Champaign-Urbana's smallest growing newscast. And tonight's top story, Mayor Girard and others presided on, I think it was last Thursday night or last Friday night at the youth employment the Champaign Summer Youth Employment Program. And more than 100 local teens graduated. 143 were rewarded with a cookout according to WICD Channel 15 in Champaign. And I was there and I saw the award ceremony or the finishing. And I did not have a camera, I should have, but I'm delivering to you what I can. I was there as each student shook the hand of the mayor and other people involved with the program. And it was a very positive vibe I got at the reception there. And they also had cookies and lemonade and some other drinks, tea at the ceremony. And according to WICD's A.J. Betapour, they said each student signed a contract, and they said they had to have 90% attendance, and they had to have appropriate professional behavior at the jobs. But not all of them lived up to the contract, they say. Some were replaced by students who could get the job done. While I was there, I heard them speak of one student who arrived at, I believe, volunteer firefighting work an hour ahead of time each day and performed his tasks very well. Just one of the many success stories of the Champaign Summer Youth Employment Program. And in other news, a company in Champaign, Illinois called the New Star Sales and Marketing Company has started innovative thinking in the fresh produce industry. Now, according to John Ayoun and his business partner John Spivey, their 2-month anniversary was August 13th, and Mr. An said that a wealth of professional experience is a hallmark at New Star. He's been in the industry his whole life, he told the Produce News August 5th, and this is from the Produce News website at theproducenews.com. And Mr. N brings 32 years of experience to the table from his association with SuperValue 20 of which were at the executive level. He was involved with the startup of W. Newell and Company for SuperValu and eventually took early retirement, went to work at C.H. Robinson. Mr. Spivey is currently president of Five Star Sales, a food and beverage business in Champaign, but was also used to be associated with the Costa Sales and Marketing. Like Mr. Ann, Mr. Spivey brings significant industry experience to the new venture, they said, in the produce news. And in other news, the economy of the U.S. is making people concerned about turmoil in the world's financial markets. That, according to hm-treasury.gov.uk, and they're saying that the Dow Jones Index has fallen by over 14%, the French market is down 23%, and the Nikkei by 11%. And it's striking that the German market is also down 24%, and Chinese equities are down 20% since November. So that's more of the bad economic news worldwide. And moving right along, a bomb has killed 5 U.S. troops in southern Afghanistan, according to Reuters news service. This was a roadside bomb Thursday, less than a week after American forces suffered their worst single loss in the Afghan war, where Taliban insurgents shot down a helicopter. And last month, foreign troops began the first phase of a gradual process to hand security control to Afghan soldiers and police. I think we'll go to our first break. Thank you for watching NewsView, and please stay tuned. And we have a special new weather reporter who's here with the forecast after the second break. This is break number 1. Stay tuned.
I always pay more than the minimum balance on my credit card.
I just opened an education IRA for my kids.
I never invest more money than I can use.
How are you saving for your future? Find out more great ways to save for your future and choose to save.
Welcome back to NewsView. I'm Michael Badger, and the news this time is a new movie could be made by a U of I graduate named, I'll read you this and you'll find out. University of Illinois graduate and Champaign resident, Dr. Chad Burns, founding member of the Burns Family Studios, has recently announced plans for a new project, Beyond the Mask, an action-fused historic adventure film with a Christ-centered message. This unique action-adventure film is the second of its kind produced by Burns Family Studios, who believes that the greatest story ever told is the good news of Jesus Christ. Set in the international turmoil of the mid-1770s, Beyond the Mask is fundamentally a story about where we find our identity. The movie begins with one man's attempt to cover up his dark past as an assassin for the East India Trading Company by assuming the mantle of an Anglican priest. He soon finds out that he himself is forced to confront who he really is when he falls in love and is caught up in the Revolutionary War. Set construction and casting are scheduled to begin next month, with filming to follow. Now, here is the Beyond the Mask movie trailer. If you would like to learn more about Beyond the Mask, you may visit the following website, and That is beyondthemaskmovie.com. And in other news, a photograph taken at the White House has sparked protest. This from the Associated Press. On Tuesday, there was a ceremony for the return of the remains of 30 American troops killed in a weekend helicopter crash in Afghanistan, despite the Pentagon's claim that any public depiction of the scene would violate the wishes of bereaved families. News media coverage of the ceremony has been banned by the Pentagon over objections of several news organizations. Pentagon officials had said that because 19 of 30 of the American families of the dead had objected to media coverage of the remains coming off a plane at Dover Air Force Base, no images could be taken. And the Pentagon rejected media requests to take photos that showed officials at the ceremony but did not depict caskets. The President, Barack Obama, attended the ceremony and called it a dignified transfer for those killed in the worst single loss of the nearly 10-year war. And in other news from CNBC, jobless claims have dipped and trade deficit has jumped. The number of Americans claiming new jobless benefits dropped to a 4-month low last week, which is a sliver of hope for an economy that has been battered by a credit rating downgrade along with falling share prices. Claims for state unemployment benefits fell 7,000 to a seasonally adjusted 395,000 from the Labor Department statement on Thursday, that the lowest level since the week ended April 2nd, and that was below the economist expectations for a reading of 400,000. This might mean that labor markets aren't rapidly deteriorating, said Sean Encremona, an economist at Forecast in New York. And in other news, an Illinois study has found that firefighting activities seem to lead to stiffening arteries. Researchers at the University of Illinois say they're learning more about the toll of high-stress work of firefighting that can take a toll on the human heart. In a study published in the journal Vascular Medicine, researchers say 3 hours of firefighting stiffen arteries in even young firefighters. And a 2007 study conducted at Harvard University found that firefighters are up to 100 times more risk for a heart attack when they're fighting a fire than when they're not. And I think that about does it for NewsView at this time. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our weather forecast coming up after this break.
Hello, my name is Anselm Anyanwu, and this is Champaign-Urbana's weather forecast. Friday night, low 65 degrees, 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Saturday, high 82 degrees, thunderstorms possible. Saturday night, 64 degrees, mostly cloudy, chance of rain. Sunday, 77 degrees, thunderstorm possible. Sunday night, 60 degrees, partly cloudy.